software. Sebab kadang-kadang bila kita tanya candidate tu balik, dia especially dekat literature review chapter 2, you just quote it, you just put it the author, but when we ask you either you read this article or not, you say that you don't understand about it. So it shows that you just take it, you just read it and put it back in your thesis. So it shows that I would say that you don't have enough integrity to put in. So itulah banyak lagi yang saya nak share berdasarkan Viva yang saya pergi tadi, yang saya hadiri pada minggu ini. Satu lagi ialah unit analisis ini pun akan disentuh kemudian juga. Unit analisis ini bermaksud ada dua saja dalam research methodology, sama ada ideanya adalah individual ataupun dia adalah organisation. Ini penting sebab dalam kerangka theoretical conceptual framework nanti in the future for your chapter 2, at the end of chapter 2 you have to draw the theoretical framework and the conceptual framework, and then you have to argue this is what you want to study in your framework. Okay, so you have to really understand it. Why, for example, like you want to put it as a mediator variable, you have to find the literature review to support it first. Your IV relate to your mediating, and then mediating relate to the dependent variables. If you cannot prove it, people will argue why you put it as a mediating variable. Okay, so I noticed that candidate don't put much emphasis on to support literature, what they want to hypothesize. Okay, so this is very important. Back to unit analysis, you have two. One is unit analysis based on individual, and then second one is organization. During my studies, okay, the both variable for your independent and DV must be same. I mean, must be in the same category. If your study at the IV is individual, your DV also individual. Okay, if your IV is organization type of analysis, your DV also. But currently, I notice in the current of journal, okay, we have with the development of tools, PLS, SAM, so people start to argue that we can use both. IV is a unit analysis individual. Your DV may be possibility organization. I've seen it, the article about it. So based on that, you have to really understand the article, really understand the research methodology behind it, and then you have to define in your Viva. If you do have strong knowledge regarding the difference between these two, so it's very difficult for you to convince the Azmina. Okay, the old school during my time, or currently previously last 3 years, we still maintain that the framework must be with the similar type. If you are individual, DV also individual. But the current one, I foresee that in the journal, IV is individual, DV is organization, and then can be run using the PLS. So this is the development very fast in the research methodology. So you have to read not only the books, but you read articles, and then you have to understand it. If not understand, you have to discuss with your supervisor, and we hope that the supervisor also have the knowledge, the current one in the research. So, and then because the supervisor also we becoming the examiner also we've been asked during the Viva. So if the examiner is not up to the current knowledge, so it's very difficult for you to understand the thesis. Okay, so this is what I will share with you. First is about how to write the problem statement. It's not, I would say that the throughout time is not more than 2 pages, 1.5, very precise. Start with the current issue, and then the current issue of your DV, and then after that you relate with your independent variables, and then you conclude. Your problem statement is about what you want to study. The objective of this research is about, you have 4 sections. So, as I mentioned to you, that I try to fulfill that. On Thursday, we will have the PhD journey. Sepatutnya pagi tadi sebab ada Viva, dan sekarang lusa adalah merupakan convocation di Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. Saya cuba memenuhi setiap hari Khamis, dan maafkan saya sekiranya sharing of this knowledge disturbing other market. So saya tak ada, for me as a professor, kita dah mencapai apa yang ingin kendaki sebagai seorang pensyarah. So ini adalah sumbangan kepada masyarakat, free, using the technology, free. And can you imagine foreign universities that students don't need to go to class, use the technology to learn. Instead of you have face-to-face lecture, you can have a face-to-face lecture through the like FB Live, like IG, and like Twitter, for example. And in the future, we have hologram, whereby you don't need to be there. Your lecture in Kota Baru, people we can see what your lecture about on stage. So this is the development of technology. So kepada rakan-rakan yang lain, anda pun boleh melakukan seperti saya juga, because this is the concept of sharing knowledge with more than 2,000 viewers now. So I would happy about it. I started with dengan sedikit saja viewers, dan alhamdulillah mendapat perkembangan dan ramai yang share this video. Itu adalah sumbangan saya, amal jariah saya. So don't worry, kursus-kursus yang di luar masih lagi banyak. You can go it, but of course you have to pay. Mine is only free. You communicate through me messenger, I will reply it as best as I can, as fast as I can. So this is development in the knowledge sharing in our technology era ni. Jadi sekarang sudah hampir lebih daripada setengah jam dah. Saya janji tadi not more than half an hour. So we will communicate. Okay, we have covered last week with the research gap, with the research objective and research question. And then don't put too many research questions, because you can certain candidate you put about 9 research questions, but actually originally it's about only 4 or 5. So sometimes students love to write more, but it doesn't mean that more is much better. Okay, so precise. Okay, and today we cover the problem segment. We will finish our research scope and limitation in the future. So we cover for chapter 1. In the middle, I will mix around with what should be preparation for you to be for the Viva. For example, I sharing for today's Viva as a chairman. So it's about 3 hours Viva. So people say it's very tough in UFK. No, if you are good, my student now, Dr. Rahim, now watching the videos. So during his time, it's only 1 hour 5 minutes, include the presentation, solid thesis. Okay, Dr. Rahim here, ARR, Dr. Abdul Ramli. So presentation 20 minutes, Viva is about 40 minutes, not more than 40 minutes. So he finished excellently. Okay, maknanya kalau thesis tu dah melalui proses yang baik, seperti melalui proposal defense and then pre-Viva. So inshallah for the Viva it's not too long. And then supervisor also must play important role. Supervisor must read thoroughly and then argue with the students, and the student have the commitment and honest to change when the supervisor asks you to change, unless you have a very good justification. For example, like you use a 3-item measurement in your questionnaire. We foresee that it's not enough, because when you do the analysis letter, some of the item should be deleted. So you have only 2 items or 1 item to measure 1 construct. So it's not cannot be used in your questionnaire design letter. So that's why we ask you to put not 3, because when we done the fact analysis during my time now for the PLS, they ask you to sometimes they ask you that this measurement have multiple quantity and you have to delete certain item. So if you use 3, so dangerous in the future. Okay, so when supervisor argue with you and ask you to change, so we have strong argument behind it for the future, for the analysis letter. After you do the data collection and then you come back to the analysis, we foresee this is a problem. So just accept it and then change it, because based on our experience, you foresee the problems later. So itu saja saya rasa. That is more than enough today. It's about nearly 3:50. It's nearly more than 30 minutes. So alhamdulillah, kita jumpa lagi. Semoga dia menjadi amal jariah pada saya, dan saya berdoa pada semua pelajar yang sedang melakukan PhD atau yang akan melakukan PhD. Selamat maju jaya. Kepada Erin yang sedang belajar di PhD di Uniza, selamat maju jaya. Do your best. And then kepada pelajar saya yang lain, ramai yang menonton di sini, teruskan usaha anda kerana tidak ada satu perjalanan yang tanpa ada ujian. Terima saja dengan penuh keredaan dan kita akan overcome the problem. So, wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum dan terima kasih. InsyaAllah jumpa lagi di lain masa. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq daripada Razli, UC Malaysia, Kelantan.